You've been speaking in static, casting spells through clenched teeth, whispering your desires into the void like you're hoping not to wake something, and then wondering why nothing moves, nothing shifts, nothing arrives. The field doesn't mishear you, it ignores you, not out of cruelty, but because your energy is incoherent. You ask for miracles in the language of apology. You reach for power while curled into doubt. You set intentions while still plugged into the grid of fear, shame, and self-denial. And then you wonder why the rituals feel hollow, why the visualization fades, why every manifestation feels like a stall instead of a summon. This is not because you're unworthy or broken or out of alignment in some vague cosmic sense. It's because your magic is being jammed by signal pollution, and you're the one transmitting the interference. You were taught to be soft with your wants, gentle with your becoming, to whisper your goals in pretty handwriting and hope the universe reads between the lines. You were told to think positive, to speak nicely, to vibrate higher. But nobody told you that energy responds to precision, not politeness. Nobody warned you that casting from contradiction is like trying to call thunder with a smile. You write your affirmations like love letters to someone who ghosted you. You meditate to calm the panic instead of command the reality. You chant in circles while your field screams in static. And you wonder why nothing sticks, nothing roots, nothing reverberates. The universe doesn't ignore you, it mirrors you. And when your field is broadcasting maybe, if, I hope, one day, it delivers exactly that: uncertainty, delay, echo. This is the unseen tax of unclear energetics, the price of trying to do sacred work while spiritually mumbling. You whisper to protect yourself from disappointment, to hedge your power, to soften your spell just in case it doesn't land. But power doesn't land where it's feared. Magic doesn't anchor where it's doubted. The quantum field isn't reading your journal, it's reading your frequency. Your rituals are being devoured by the residue of every contradiction you refuse to name, every resentment you haven't cleared to say. Every time you say you want to change but still keep the altar of your old life intact. You light the candle but the flame is scented with fear. You cast the spell but your voice is braided with disbelief. You set the intention but you lace it with escape clauses, back doors, and maybe laters. And the field? It mirrors that. You don't cast by being louder, you cast by becoming clearer. You don't manifest through volume, you manifest through purity of signal. Think of it like a frequency lock. The spell either fits the door or it doesn't. You can't fake congruence. You can't force alignment with a Pinterest ritual and a shaky voice. You must become the spell before you ever speak it. And the becoming is violent. It's clarifying. It burns away everything you were never meant to carry. The identities you inherited, the timelines you tolerated, the narratives that begged you to stay small because small was safe. You cannot carry all that in cast, clearly. You cannot whisper your way into a new dimension. You must cut the static, strip the signal. Speak with the voice of the version of you that has already collapsed every alternative. The hidden cost of unclear energetics isn't just that your spells fail. It's that every time you cast from confusion, you teach the field to ignore you. You train your nervous system to associate magic with disappointment. You embed failure into the frequency itself. This is the quiet death of power. Not because you don't have it, but because you broadcast chaos and call it clarity. You light your incense and choke on your own indecision. You do the ritual but keep the backup plan. You say, "I'm ready," with one hand on the trigger and the other still holding the past. And so the spell dies before it leaves your lips. Because it wasn't a spell, it was a wish. And wishes aren't magic. They're noise. You want to cast with force? Then you must become frictionless. Precision is violent, because it kills the versions of you that speak halfway, the identities that delay, the frequencies that dilute. You cannot align while accommodating doubt. You cannot anchor while leaving doors open. You cannot cast from a house still filled with the ghosts of your indecision. Clarity is cruelty to the parts of you that were built to survive, not to lead. But if you want to lead, if you want the field to move the moment you speak, then you must speak like you are the field. Not the beggar, not the student, not the seeker, the source, the code. You keep holding onto the shadows of hesitation like they're sacred relics, afraid that if you release them, you'll lose what little control you have left. But control is an illusion crafted by delay. The moment you clutch fear, you fracture your frequency, and magic fractures with it. There is no room for halfway in the field. Only total collapse or total command. Every breath you waste whispering, every ounce of energy you pour into doubt, siphons power from the very spell you intend to cast. Your energy must be a clean line, a sharpened blade slicing through the noise, not a fading echo begging for attention. This is why rituals without ruthless intent fail, why affirmations become empty chants, and why visualizations are like watching smoke swirl without fire beneath. Your field is a mirror, and it only reflects what you are, not what you wish to be, not what you want to be one day, but what you are now. Your present energetic signature is louder than your hopes, louder than your plans, louder than your soon. It's broadcasting every contradiction you harbor, the resentment toward your current state, the guilt for not being there yet, the quiet surrender to your limitations. And the quantum fabric responds accordingly. It is not a playground for your fantasies. It is a ledger of energetic truth. To break free from this trap, you must do what the world calls cruel. What your comfort resists, you must sever the tangled cords of doubt, denial, and distraction. You must enact a ritual of radical clarity, a purge of all signals that muddy your true broadcast, because every fragment of unresolved pain, every hidden grudge, every silent resignation is a parasite feeding on your power. And until you evict those parasites, your magic remains hostage. You cannot cast a clear spell while still tethered to a broken past. You cannot anchor a new identity while dragging the ruins of old selves behind you. This is the crucible of transformation. The REALITYCRAFT way is not to gently nudge the universe into cooperation. It is to seize the reins and rewrite the code at the source. You do this by commanding your field to obey your new identity, by burning the scripts of your old timelines until only the pure signal of your future self remains. The rituals are not mere ceremony, they are acts of war against your lower frequency. Each sigil drawn, each declaration spoken, each boundary set in your environment is a strike that severs the energetic leash of your former self. And once you have done this, once you have cut the clutter and tuned your broadcast to crystalline clarity, the field no longer hesitates, it no longer wavers, it answers with immediacy. Your magic becomes inevitable because you are inevitability. You become the storm and the calm, the cause and the effect, the beginning and the end. No longer whispering but roaring, not begging but demanding, not hoping but embodying. The question is not will it work? The question is, are you ready to become the spell? Are you ready to burn the false self down until only truth remains? Are you prepared to wield your clarity like a blade that cuts through illusion and summons new realities? Because magic does not live in sharpness. Magic lives in sharpness, in precision, in the unflinching declaration that your reality will bend to the frequency you embody. If you want to break the cycle of whispered spells and failed dreams, you must first clear the static within, then speak, anchor, cast. You do this not with whispered hopes, but with commanded certainty. The field does not respond to quiet wishes, it responds to unbreakable truths. Your energy is your language. And until you speak clearly, your magic will continue to drown in the noise. Now, take a moment to feel that weight, that pressure building in your chest, that tightening in your throat, that electric charge humming beneath your skin. That is the power of clarity waiting to erupt, the tension before the storm, the breath before the roar. Let it fill you. Let it shape you. Let it sharpen your spell. Because the moment you stop whispering, the moment you stop fearing your own power, the moment you declare your reality with unwavering precision, the field bends, the timelines fold, the impossible becomes inevitable. You don't need more tools, more rituals, more waiting. You need one thing, the clear, sharp voice of your unshakable self. This is your birthright, your curse, your liberation, your command. And from this moment forward, the magic that flows through you will not be a question, but an answer. Not a hope, but a law. Not a whisper, but a roar. You are the frequency. You are the command. You are the spell.